On the 25th of September 1970, yo, a great king was born. Yeah. The rising son of Africa, the greatest king, yo, that ever lived. Yeah. Other kings who come before them sell us gifts to Oyibo. Them put us chains for hands and we don't suffer years ago. But when them born this king, we get hope said sun will rise again. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. The only king the way them prophesy he coming long ago. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. Now when the canon are the name of this king where we dey talk about yo. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. And the day when this king was born, yo, and we they celebrate, yo. He go bring us freedom. Every lover of freedom, them they sing this song. With the wishing them the can of long life and Biafra, oh. No matter tough circumstance, we go celebrate. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Wish you well, oh Hamadike, happy birthday, plenty many birthday, you, happy birthday, oh Nandika, Biafrans we dey wish you well, happy birthday, lovers of freedom wish you well, oh Hamadike, Joshua they wish you well, happy birthday. On the 25th of September 1970, yo, a great king was born. Yeah. The rising son of Africa, the greatest king, yo, that ever lived. Yeah. Other kings who come before them sell us gifts to Oyibo. Them put us chains for hands and we don't suffer years ago. But when them born this king, we get hope said sun will rise again. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. The only king the way them prophesy he coming long ago. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. Now when the canon are the name of this king where we they talk about yo. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. And the day when this king was born, yo, and we they celebrate, yo. He go bring us freedom. Every lover of freedom, them they sing this song. With the wishing them the can of long life and Biafra, oh. No matter tough circumstance, we go celebrate. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Wish you well, oh Hamadike, happy birthday, plenty many birthday, you, happy birthday, oh Nandika, Biafrans we dey wish you well, happy birthday, lovers of freedom wish you well, oh Hamadike, Joshua they wish you well, happy birthday. On the 25th of September 1970, yo, a great king was born. Yeah. The rising son of Africa, the greatest king, yo, that ever lived. Yeah. Other kings who come before them sell us gifts to Oyibo. Them put us chains for hands and we don't suffer years ago. But when them born this king, we get hope said sun will rise again. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. The only king the way them prophesy he coming long ago. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. Now when the canon are the name of this king where we they talk about yo. Ohamadike, he go bring us freedom. And the day when this king was born, yo, and we they celebrate, yo. He go bring us freedom. Every lover of freedom, them they sing this song. With the wishing them the can of long life and Biafra, oh. No matter tough circumstance, we go celebrate. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Wish you well, oh Hamadike, happy birthday, plenty many birthday, you, happy birthday. Biafrans, we dey wish you well, yo. Happy birthday. Lovers of freedom, wish you well, yo. And Joshua, they wish you well, yo. Happy birthday.
Must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Simon Ekpa is looking like a bigger threat than what IPOB represents. And when I was reading about IPOB, I'm like, these people should realize that Simon Ekpa is asking the people to celebrate Biafra heroes from 29 to the 31st. IPOB only asked for one day. That's May 30, which is the day that over the years they had celebrated the Biafran heroes. But Simon Ekpa is saying no. It has to be from the 29th to the 31st. That is a threat on its own that we have to deal with.
Himself obeys the sit at home on Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit at home, and government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
The more they attack me, the stronger I become. Because it is like you are pouring fuel in the strength that is in me. So bring it on. But I'm telling you today that we have been able to defeat them. We have Chikota Hanchani Nono and defeated them. What we have done to Nigeria and their agent in Biafra struggle is that we gathered them together. This particular sit at home, I told you people, will be the beginning of the liberation of Biafra. You see, the actions, the activities of Biafrans in this sit at home have gathered all the sabos together, all the saboteur together, and we defeated them. Bam! It is mysterious. How many of you will ever believe in this life that everybody will gang up against Biafra?
Must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Welcome everyone to this emergency media press briefing from the Office of the Prime Minister of the Biafran government and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra as Biafran government's global diplomatic moves throws Nigeria off balance and they are crying left, right, center. I welcome the Prime Minister to the stage as he addresses the press.
I welcome every one of you, fellow Biafrans all over the world, those that are listening live and those that will listen after this particular space. I have come this evening unannounced to brief Biafrans on the success that the Biafra government are making globally. We need to, as we approach December 2nd or the November-December convention, it is very important and imperative that we keep you updated every time when the opportunity calls. My fellow Biafrans, you must understand one thing, which will become a norm as we go forward. Always remember that Nigeria terrorist state came into being through conquest and the forceful imposition of foreign rule, which denied indigenous people the opportunity to negotiate and choose what they wanted in 1914. And it was called the amalgamation of Nigeria. Today, we are no longer comfortable in this amalgamation. We are no longer comfortable in this conquest. We are no longer comfortable in this injustice, in this faulty foundation. And we say it is time for redress after decades. And of course, as we all know how government works all over the world from history, somebody have to rise up to brutally, ruthlessly resist them, especially when the government become evil like Nigeria. Somebody have to get up and lead that change. And that's exactly what we are doing today. Like they have done it in America and other parts of the world. America took the bull by its horn in 1776 against the same people we are fighting today in proxy. And that's exactly why it is important that you know the diplomatic wave of the Biafra government today. In the past weeks, the Biafra government has met notable decision makers in the United States, Washington, D.C., on a diplomatic consultation over the Biafra Common Declaration in Finland. And of course, this consultation continues, including consultation with a high-level individuals across Asia, and of course Africa as well. Like you all know, last week, the officials of the Biafra government met with dignitaries, policymakers, decision makers, including the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States of America. We will continue to educate them on the need for Biafra to become an independent state. We will continue to educate them on the need to support the declaration of Biafra. We will continue to educate them on the need to also support the Biafra self-referendum, because Nigeria thought by locking the door of the constitution, they have defeated everybody, but we have smarted them. So this consultation will continue even after the declaration of the 2nd of December 2024, until those who have what it takes to pursue and support the recognition of Biafra will understand the need for them to do so. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to understand one thing, that the civil disobedience that we have used for the past 3 years have yielded the exact and even more than the result we required and we expected from it. And you know, with all the propaganda, the blackmail they use trying to demonize our people, demonize them, not to continue to sit at home, they failed. And let me tell you, you know, one of the things they usually come with is that, oh, you are destroying the economy. Oh, the sit at home, because of the sit at home, they have lost billions in the South. Now, let me make it very clear today. Any day they come with such nonsense, ask them, when the seat at home was not there, they were making this billion. What have they done with the billions? Ask them, what have they done with the billions? And what have the seat at home now done to stop that thing they were doing with the billions? Ask them, what have they done when the seat at home was not there and they were generating these billions? Did they use it to build road? The answer is no. Did they use these billions to build hospital? The answer is no. Did they use this billion to build social amenity for you? The answer is no. Did they use this billion to give you national insurance scheme? The answer is no. Did they use this billion to give you free education? The answer is no. Then why are they now so worried about losing these particular billions to the seat at home? Do you know who it is affecting? It's affecting them. That billion they were looting is what they cannot loot again. And everybody is hungry. All of them. Ask them, how have they sit at home destroyed ordinary man's economy? They were not sharing those billion with them. How have they sit at home, or this billion that they are talking about, affect an ordinary man who goes out and sell market and feed his family? And if he didn't go tomorrow, he will go the next day to sell and feed his family. It doesn't affect them. And that is why our people discover that actually it is very, very effective. They keyed into it. The people that are subjugating our people to slavery were the one shouting and crying of economy. The economy that the common man never benefited from. The economy that a common man will never benefited. Before they could train their children in school, they will suffer and suffer and suffer. Why these people are making billions through the revenue that they generate from different states? Today, they are losing that revenue and they are crying of economy. I want you to understand also that for those of them today that are surprised of the wave that the Biafra government is making globally, using our lobbyists from different dimensions that we are using for the liberation of Biafra, they are surprised. They call it fake. They say it's a photoshopping. You can imagine. We will be posting Speaker of House of Representatives of the United States of America. We post it on Twitter, our finance minister. And so, as we are today, as a government, we will now be posting fake image of high, top-ranked officials of the United States of America on Twitter, claiming that we met them. This is the level of idiocy of the people who have been shouting Biafra for many years. Because that's what they did, actually. Of course, they cannot even Photoshop reasonable people. But most of the things they posted for many years were all Photoshop. Many of them, everything is Photoshop. The Photoshop that I said I'm going to bring sheep, they use it to feed their ego, feed themselves on social media. The Photoshop where I posted the guy that died in Russia, which I have refused to make a video to today. The Photoshop, everything about them is Photoshopping. That was how they were fighting Biafra. Now, that's why nobody ever took them serious. But today, we are not in Photoshopping in the government. Everything is real. I went to the office of the president of Finland to submit a document. Then, that was like 2 years ago, they say it's fake. And with my level in Finland, I will be posting that I submitted a letter to the office of the president of Finland, and it is fake. I brought even acknowledgement from the office of the president Niinisto, the former president, that they have received the letter where I was appealing to them to support the Biafra independence. They acknowledge the receipt of that letter with evidences of Nigeria, violation of Biafra rights, and this criminals, political pressure group IPOB Nigeria, they say is a fake. I want you to understand that they remain criminals and fake. They remain Nigeria political pressure group. Otherwise, under IPOB Nnamdi Kanu, he was looking for 100 men. With all the idiots scattered all over the world shouting IPOB, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu was looking for 100 men. Do you think he was actually wrong? Do you think Nnamdi Kanu was wrong to be shouting for 100 men on Radio Biafra, where this illiterate will littered everywhere, doing container shipping with IPOB money? Is it that Nnamdi Kanu was wrong for saying, I need 100 men, where they have all these market women? If market women, I don't want to belittle the market women, they're actually very hardworking. But today, when we say that we are not going to use lobbies, we're not going to waste money on lobbies, was when we do not have the foundation, was when there was nothing to show. You don't go and start paying lobbies when you don't have anything on ground. That was what this political pressure group did, only to just entice people and scam their fans of their hard-earned money. That was what they did. They deceived Masina Mdekano to be paying 80,000. Even those people paying that money, $80,000, they were doing Abatek here with the same lobby firm. How many Biafrans know that the same lobby firm that were paying 80,000 was the same lobby firm that was defending Okonjo Iweala? The same time they were defending Okonjo Iweala, and at the same time, IPOB was paying them $80,000. And you think they actually received that money? Now ask yourself, with this their so-called lobbies, can they bring one picture of them meeting anybody in Washington, D.C.? I want to share a story. The reason the $80,000 lobbying firm, whether they actually paid that money or not, the reason why that particular agreement was revoked was because of Okorafor, Uchenna. Uchenna Okorafor, the secretary to Onyendu, wanted to be part of the meeting of this lobbyist, and she participated in that meeting few times. Do you know who is the chairman of the lobbyist like representing IPOB? Do you know? Now let me tell you. The person who was in charge of the IPOB lobbying group is called Ogwe. Ogwe that doesn't know nothing in America. Ogwe was the one in charge of from the IPOB group. Ogwe was the one in charge telling the lobbyists that he is the representative of the IPOB. Uchenna Okorafor went to the meeting several times. Ogwe will sit there and say nothing. In fact, nothing was being said, nothing was being discussed. That Uchenna Okorafor wanted to raise an objection that this payment of $80,000 or whatever they were paid, that the money is being thrown into ocean. They started fighting her. This was happening, bam! And Onyendu was kidnapped. Now, Oyibo came on board. Giddy. Hired another one they call Allen White. We did the shambolic agreement. He started paying $60,000. This time, I was the one preparing documents for Allen White. I was the one, Simon Ekpa, was the one preparing, filing annexes, evidences of the Nigeria human rights violation against Biafra. I was the one compiling documents day and night. I didn't sleep. But they were the one receiving $60,000. Nothing. The first annex, I filed it. The second annex, I filed it. Working with somebody in Strasbourg. I am sharing this story because I don't think I've shared this story ever. At a point, I questioned why $60,000 is being paid, because I am doing this job by writing and compiling these evidences as an annex. I will do it. They will tell me to do it again. I will do it. And they will have some kind of proofread these annexes up to 5 times. I will not sleep to make sure that these annexes met the standard requirement of the ICC. At the end of the day, they will pay them $60,000. I begin to question Oyibo before she begin to say, okay, now maybe we are going to stop paying them. Why am I telling this story? Then I said, we will never hire lobby. We will do this ourselves until further notice. Because you don't hire lobbyists when you don't have any structure. You don't hire lobbyists, and what are they going to be telling the people you are meeting? Oh, that you are from Biafra land, you are fighting for freedom. What exactly are you going to show? To show how serious you are. Discussing with the people, if you actually have the opportunity to meet the people. What are you going to present to them? That you are carrying flag on the street? Is that what you are going to present to them? Or that Nigeria is killing you? No! I know what I am doing. I have the template to get there. I said nobody will hire lobbyists until the right time comes. And the right time is when we have put every structure in place, including the government institution, which include the Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra forces. These are part of the government institution that must be put in place. Because as we are doing this, we will not sit down and watch Nigeria kill our people and to use their picture to go to the ICC. No. we will defend ourselves as much as possible. Then we decided to start preparing for the defense of Biafra. If you remember, we started preparing for the defense of Biafra. Then the Biafra government in exile came on board. Before then, a lot of things that happened on the ground. Yet, we decided to have the first ever convention, first ever convention internationally. First. IPOB Nigeria never did it. First ever international Biafra convention where declarations were made, where alliances were signed, and it became part of the history of the struggle. After that, we begin to put in place all the institutions of the government, department, ministries. We begin to appoint ministers, cabinet members, and all that. And of course, we begin to officially defend ourselves, engaging the Nigeria terrorist army. Head on, iron to iron, gun to gun, and they're hearing it. Now, after we have achieved all these things, we also did not just achieve them, we also defined the Biafra map. Because if you want to go and do lobby, the people that you are going to meet, if they're actually serious and real, they're first of all going to ask you, where is your map? That question that I've been asking all this while is actually the right question from the wrong people. Then we define our map. We did not just define our map, we also created the state. We allowed everybody inside that map to define the boundaries of their state. And they did. They presented to me 40 United States of Biafra, which is the structure that we have even before the emergence of Wazirike and IPOB. I resurrected the plan of OGOJA, which is not known by anybody. Now, after that, when we see that the government is functioning very well, including, before I forget, including establishing the de facto government in the homeland, which gave birth to the map and the state structure. After that, we now say that, okay, we have achieved the criteria to be recognized as a state. You can never ever be recognized as a state under a political pressure group according to international law. The law of Montevideo Convention make it very clear. The criteria you must attain to be recognized as a state. Under IPOB Nigeria, you can never qualify for that. Where is the structure? And that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw and told this idiot. Go and listen to Simon Ekpa. He is bringing a new dimension to this awareness we're making. Now look around yourself. Will you say there is no new dimension? Will you say that we are doing what they were doing since 10 years or 30 years ago? The answer is no. If he was so selfish, he wouldn't tell you to listen to me. If he was so stupid or self-centered, he wouldn't tell you to listen to me. He would think that I'm a threat. Because the time I wanted to interview him in my platform, those people who surrounded him and he was looking for 1,000 men fought against him coming to my platform. And he was like, are we still fighting for Biafra, or is there something they are protecting? If you see somebody that is better than you, bring him in. That was what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. They were saying, don't go, don't go, don't go. That night he was on call, or everywhere they are in the world, they were calling him. Don't go, don't appear, don't appear. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was like, are we not fighting for Biafra again? Why they were calling him on phone? I was on the phone also with Uche Okorafor's mother. And I was listening and hearing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the phone. Don't go. He didn't take oath. Oh, that guy is a traitor. They have given us information from Finland. What information did they give to you from Finland? The information that Simon Ekpa is somebody in Finland. That was the information. Are they telling you that Simon Ekpa is a criminal in Finland? No. That Simon Ekpa is connected. That was the information. And for that reason, he will hijack everything. That was the information. But did he actually come to hijack? The answer is no. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw somebody who will change the face of the agitation for Biafra. And he was happy. And today, that thing he saw in me is manifesting. And I told him and promised him, if you are ready, really, really ready to fight for this Biafra, I will be the first person. And you are ready to do anything I asked him, are you ready to do anything on live broadcast to get Biafra? And before he answered me, I said, hold on. If you are ready, I will be the first person to follow you. Now, if Mazen Namdekano approved doing anything for Biafra, why are they fighting what I'm doing today, which is actually anything? Ask them, ask yourself, why are the people who followed him fighting me when I am actually doing anything to get Biafra? Because he promised me that he would do anything to get Biafra. But of course, like I said, if they were actually with him, he will not be looking for 100 men. Where IPOB all over the world was contributing money and in millions of dollars. If I'm not mistaken, IPOB could have up to $5 million. Where is the money today? There is nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. When we took over this agitation, now in liberation, there were no gun, not even AK-47. Everything you see Biafra Liberation Army using today, we bought it from scratch. We did not snatch gun from the terrorist army. Under IPOB, they were telling them to go and snatch gun. We did not snatch gun. We buy every single gun you see them using today. And of course, minus those ones we are manufacturing by ourselves. And it will continue like that. Then when we have decided that now we have met the requirement according to the Montevideo Convention to be recognized as a state, it is time to bring in the lobbyists. Because when you see them today, they say, oh, is he not the one who condemned lobbyists? Is he not the one who condemned IPOB saying he's not going to hire? Why should I hire lobbyists as a political pressure group? Now that you that have hired lobbyists and paid 80,000, which you did not actually pay, as a matter of fact, what did you achieve? Can you show me where the lobbyists arrange a meeting for any IPOB member in Washington, D.C.? The answer is no. Because the money, some of the money were actually never paid to them. But the people who were seated as the committee, which way he was leading, they know what happened to those 80,000 every month. Today, how much are we paying? We are paying $10,000 every month to lobbyists. And look at the result. You will know that the people who are lobbying for us are not after money. It's a public information. It is not hidden. But IPOB, they will hide it. Or IPOB Nigeria, not even IPOB, IPOB Nigeria. They will hide it. They say, oh, we don't want to. You see them telling you, oh, you're exposing your lobbyists. Why should we be hiding what we are doing for a nation, for a country, for independence? No need to hide it. And of course, now that we have met the requirement according to the Montevideo Convention, you know, some of them don't even know what is Montevideo Convention. They are just shouting, oh, let us go and outside and protest. During the time I interviewed Mazen Namdekano, I read the Montevideo Convention and he was shocked. He was shocked. I want all of you to go and watch the interview I had with him. He was shocked when I read the Montevideo Convention to him, because I don't think any other person among them knew actually what is Montevideo Convention. I read the Montevideo Convention to Mazen Namdekano, and go and listen to that interview and listen to the comment he made after I read that convention to him. He said, wow, you never knew that I knew this. I want you people to go and refresh your brain. Watch it. I came to this Biafra prepared. I said that no, after me, I will handle freedom to the new generation. Nobody will fight for freedom again from Biafra land. That is what I'm doing. It does not matter. I said I will turn to a beast and still Biafra will come. So if you think that you have seen half of it, no. The harder Nigeria become, the more brutal I also become to free my people. I want you to understand that now that the Biafra government has met the requirement according to the international law to be recognized as a state, that is where our lobbies now coming. So everything we are doing, you are going and presenting who you are to the people that can influence the recognition of Biafra. From the Washington, D.C., from Asia, from Europe, from Africa. You will go and show who you are. The government you are representing has a map. The government you are representing has conducted self-referendum. There are evidences everywhere of how the self-referendum is being conducted. We have recorded over 50 million votes. You can't beat that. That is what we call outsmarting the terrorist state of Nigeria. And they were taking us for a joke. Today, they are no longer taking us for a joke anymore. They are calling ICC to one man, Simon Ekpa. And they tell you, oh, the time they were catching Nnamdi Kanu, why didn't they make it public? Why would they make it public? Because they thought Nnamdi Kanu is the only person that was talking genuinely. And once they capture him, Biafra is dead. And of course, they celebrated the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja, including the one some people were kneeling down thanking God in Lagos. Oh, they came every now and then to grant national interview on national TV that Biafra is dead. Let them see how they will rise up again. As that was happening, Simon Ekpa was somewhere observing them. Ejiofor promised them he's in charge of IBIBIO. Where is he today? He's gone. I want you to understand, mark my word now. Once Nnamdi Kanu is out, IPOB is gone, dissolved, completely dissolved. Mark my word. Every person today that is fighting me on the other side will be gone. I want you to mark this day. Mark this word I'm telling you now. Every one of them will be gone. As we approaching the December declaration of Biafra, we will continue to push for the recognition of Biafra. At the same time, getting investors ready to invest in Biafra land. And when you hear them, when you see that they are everybody, I told you people that the propaganda is going to increase. Do not think that you have seen propaganda. No, you have not seen. Somebody like me, I am already cooked. But what about you? Just close your ear. You already know what you know. Close your ear, lock your heart. Propaganda is going to come. I told you people a few weeks ago. So if you think that what you see springing up on social media is going to end soon, my brother, you are in for a very long journey. It is actually now that the propaganda is starting, because they have seen that I am not backing down. They have seen somebody that they have never seen in their life. You know, they say that I am not an Igbo man, that Igbo people don't have the heart I have. That is why we're different. They say, oh, I'm a Fulani, I'm wicked. I have to be wicked. If you're not wicked, you can't fight Nigeria. That was why Nnamdi Kanu is where he is today. I learned from him, learned from other people that failed, and I'm here to end it. After I finish with Nigeria, believe me, the people that will be in the Nigeria side will never name their child Simon. Of course, they don't even have to name they are Islamic state. They don't name their children Simon. But I'm just telling you that even those who love Nigeria because of corruption and they are Christians, they will never name their child Simon. That is what is going to happen. After I finish with them, I will be here. Biafra freedom will come from diaspora. I promised them for many years, since 2021, that I will bring the Biafra freedom from diaspora. I want you to look around yourself. Is it not coming from diaspora? They thought they have locked everywhere. If you go to Nigeria, they kill you. If you do, they will challenge you. Come to Nigeria, so we'll take you serious. Come to Nigeria. Because I will not come to Nigeria. If you want to die, go and put yourself on war. I will not come to Nigeria. I will be here to fight for my people, and I will be here and free my people from Nigeria. When Queen Elizabeth was controlling you in Nigeria and doing amalgamation, was she there? Was she there? Queen Elizabeth, the same Lugard, was she there? I will do like her. I will be here and free Biafra, and then I will come to unify Biafra people after Biafra has been recognized. I will be here to fight, because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds. But that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from? It's coming from here. Thank you very much.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the price is death for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hail to Biafra, consecrated nation. O fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending thee shall be our dedication. Spilling our blood will count our privilege. The waving standard which emboldens the free shall always be our flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets fill the glorious song of victory. We scored all might and wrong. Oh God, protect us from the hidden pitfalls. Guide all our movements, lest we go astray. Give us the strength to heed the humanist call, to give and not to count the cost each day. Let those who rule to serve with resoluteness, to make this climb a land of righteousness.
Good morning, wonderful people of Biafra and lovers of freedom. I salute all of you from your hands, and I bring you warm greetings from the Biafra Republic government in exile and de facto in the homeland under the leadership of the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. Happy birthday to our Supreme Leader, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. We wish you more years to see Biafra and to enjoy your existence, because you have been a bountiful blessing to the existence of Biafrans. Without you, nobody would have understood what it means to be a Biafran. Nobody would have also understood what it means to stand for self-determination and to fight for self-preservation and to defend motherland. Your existence to humanity is a big blessing, especially to the Biafran race. That is why we would long to have another Martin Kanu in generations to come over and over and over again, because he has been the man of the people, the man that has sacrificed everything for him to be who he is and for Biafrans to have their freedom. And say, happy birthday to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Happy birthday to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again. Happy birthday to our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I salute all Biafrans who are making sure the waters of Biafra is not dry, that we have funds to fund everything that we are doing on a daily basis. Please keep up the good work and multiply what you've been doing. Chukwu will give you the enablement to do more and to make exploits and to be able to break the hard rocks that were unbroken to people of the past. Your own time will be a different time and a peculiar one. I salute the entire cabinet of the Biafran government, both in the diaspora and the homeland, and to all Biafrans and to the Biafra Defense Forces who are giving woto to the terrorists that are coming into Biafra land. Yes, we are here again. Kudos to my Prime Minister, the man of the moment, the man that everybody listens to and look up to and wishes to hear what he has to say. Whenever one Nigeria hears the Prime Minister's speech now or his post, they run into their toilet. Yes, that has been the way it was when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not kidnapped. Whenever they hear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu want to talk, they run into their toilet to find a way to listen in humiliation while their children and wives and concubines and sugar mummies and daddies don't hear them and see them the way they act, because they don't know the fire that they will unleash. It has transcended to the Prime Minister of today, and we say kudos to existence for standing his ground to this very day. One Nigeria will not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if we back down from whatever that we are doing. Yes, it is the intensity and the fire that we put on every day that will make one Nigeria to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They don't release him the way you are asking peacefully. They will release him when you are asking brutally and in a very serious-minded nature. They will release him also on conditions that you give them. When we say they will release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with exchanges of their prisoners that will keep, some of you that understand what war and defense and security is all about, and diplomatic ties and connections between countries and nations, you can expatiate on this better. So, the court appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu yesterday was as they had wanted it to be. So their plan is to continue to keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention while they enjoy from every havoc that they cause in Biafra land. Yes. One Nigerian Sorry about the break in transmission. One Nigerian terrorist agent and their slave boys, which they call the governors and the senators and the traditional rulers and the religious leaders and anything that represents one Nigeria in the presence of Biafra land, are causing terror, kidnapping and killing of our people. an invasion of our lands, while the work the Biafran government is doing is to make sure we repel them and send it back to them 100 force. So when you hear them say there is insecurity in Biafra land, ask them who is causing the insecurity. The insecurity is being caused by the terrorist representatives, the senators, the ministers, the House of Reps members, and everything, the police, the army, the Air Force, anything that is representing Nigeria and is walking the surface of this soil in Biafra land. They are the people behind the insecurity and the terror attack in Biafra land. What we are doing is to get peace. And for you to get peace, you have to make sure you expunge and to kill every terrorist that is coming into Biafra land. That is what the Biafran government are doing. The Biafran government is ensuring peace and tranquility to see that we have peace, to restore Biafra and to restore our dignity of our nation. That dignity which we had before the white man came. Yes. And we are not seeking for Biafra to lord in on anybody. No. We are seeking for what it is. We are seeking for what is originally ours. That our identity, that our name, that our culture, that our prestige. We are seeking for what we had before the white man came to come and intertwine all your brains for you to start thinking like animals. We are seeking for that very culture and that ethics of life, that Biafra which we were 500 years ago, before the forceful amalgamation of Nigeria by the British company, and they call it Royal Niger Company, which they bring all of you against your will, and they call you Nigeria. We are seeking for that our identity, which we were, and we stood our ground, and we did what we know how to do best, compared to this very day and century, where there is technology, the sky will be our limit, putting everything together and also inculcating the technological development that has come to be. So those ones that will come out and tell you there is insecurity in the region of Biafra, ask them who is bringing the insecurity. And watch what is on the screen now. This is abductions and vitalities of the second quarter of 2023. And here, it makes you to understand the breakdown of the security situation in the contraption called Nigeria. The Zoological Republic government admits so well that the Biafran territory is the most peaceful and secured for one to live in one Nigerian contraption. It is the peaceful because the Biafran Defense Forces have been able to maintain peace and tranquility and to expunge the presence of the terrorists coming into Biafra land. Without the presence of the Biafra Defense Forces, the 450 that are massacred in Zamfara and Sokoto and Borno would have been massacred in Biafra land today. The 150 that is massacred in Sokoto and Borno and Kano and Niger and Benue would have been happening in Biafra land. It is the one Nigerian terrorist contraption that gives you this very report on the screen. Look at this bar chart. When you look at this bar chart, you will see how they have explained vitalities and terrorist attacks in the entire one Nigeria. Where is the safest place? Biafra land is the safest place. From this, their chart. Biafra land is the safest place. And this is to the glory of the Biafran government in Israel, under the supervision of Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. The same man that they say they want to kill, the same man they say they want to go and bring down from Fintan so that he will come and die. If you are doing anything and nobody is attacking you, that means you are not doing anything that is against your enemies. Your enemies don't want you to be free, and that is why they must fight you left, right, center, because they know you are trying to bring freedom to your people. Anything you do that the terrorists or the enemies don't attack you or they don't come against you, know that you are actually not hitting them where you are supposed to hit them. That you see IPOB Nigeria today being comfortable with one Nigerian terrorist government, that they are eating on the same table and jubilating and having meetings on the same table. Why are they having a free
space and enjoyment and communication arena with one Nigerian terrorist is because they are not hitting and they are not fighting the same terrorists. They are working in pari passu with them. That is why they can have a free flow of communication and share intels with each other because they are working in pari passu. The Biafran government that is working against one Nigerian terrorist to make sure we dissolve them and destroy them so that we can rebuild a new nation where we can be able to defend the integrity and protect and determine who comes in and goes out, where we can curtail corruption and insecurity and terrorist invasion of our lands, where we can control theft, control development and everything that we want to do, where we can avert incessant death and killings and slaughter of pregnant women and children and abductions of all kinds, where we can prevent diseases that may come to be tomorrow, where we develop places for our children to have enabling environment to be able to explore, where the significance of democracy is properly felt, where the dividends of democracy is seen, where children will go to school and they will understand what it means to be a student and the real reason why you go to school. Unlike now that you school in Nigeria and you come out, you regret of going to school because they have made your certificate to be valueless. Where the Biafran government will make sure that as you're going to school, you have a grant that you're getting from the government. And even when you finish school, a student can go or a graduate can go and make use of a grant that is gotten from the government to establish his or her life, where there is a visionary gesture to the citizenry. You see, when they tell you that Biafra land is this and that, and they are shouting over the activities of Simon Ekpa, which they refuse to open their mouth and say the activity of the Biafran government under Simon Ekpa, they will always say the activity of Simon Ekpa and his gang. When they are shouting and crying, ask them why they are crying. Is it in Southeast that they abducted 450 people? Is it in Southeast that they have 150 people inside the bush held down by Fulani terrorists? Is it Simon Ekpa that is sponsoring the terrorists that are in Niger and Benue and Sokoto kidnapping and burying people? You don't see Simon Ekpa in Niger. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. He's the only voice, the only light, the only hope of the Biafran people. After all others have seen money and decided to be wooed by money and taken away because they cannot look at money and stand for justice. Simon Ekpa is the only man. The prime minister is the only man which they are shouting his name everywhere. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa. Yes. Call that name and be delivered. Call the name Simon Ekpa and be delivered. Call the name Simon Ekpa and be safe. Call the name Simon Ekpa and your brain will reset. Call the name Simon Ekpa and you will see deliverance from one Nigerian terrorist. So, you can see now from the bar chart that what has made Biafra land, which they purportedly call Southeast, and the entire city of Biafra, what has made it to be safe is the presence of the Biafra Defense Forces, who are making waves, who are putting things right, who are making sure the terrorist presence does not come into Biafra land. So they will continue to shout, and if they don't shout, and if they don't cry over the firepower of Simon Ekpa, Biafra government, that means we were not doing something. So we are doing something. I want everyone to have it on notice today and to understand very well that for Nigerian government to go extra miles and to use their delegates to do what? To sabotage the Human Rights Commission on African Union to hear the petitions and the violations of one Nigeria on human rights and the killings and maiming and destruction of lives and properties and the plight of the Biafran people and this Biafra self-referendum and the status of the Biafran government in exile and de facto in the homeland in charge of Biafra and the emergence of Biafra independence. We want you to understand very well that for Nigeria to have gone so far to have used their delegates in the secretariat units of the African Union to sabotage the petitions of the Biafra Republic government in exile to the African Union, I want you all to understand that this is a sign of defeat. This is a sign of victory from the Biafran government. This is a sign of victory from the Biafra people. This is a sign to tell you that you are winning. You are defeating the Nigerian terrorists. You know, Oyendu said, we are fighting a formidable array of enemies, both within and without, and we will overcome every part of them, I can assure you. You must put your brain in gear. He said, those of you that were born, those of you that were predestined before you were born from your mother's womb to come out and fight and restore Biafra, he said the time is now for you to emerge. Come out and assume the responsibility. And he said, I am not telling you all this for you to be wavering, for you to be afraid, or for you to run jigback. He said, I am telling you to put you on notice and to put you on check and to remind you that you have I guess we are back. Can you all hear me? Please, if you can hear me, give a thumbs up or a write up on the comment section. Okay, thank you. All right. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not advise us or awaken us to be fearful. No. He reminded us of what we are to face and what is to come ahead of us. That's why he said, I want your brain to be put in gear so that you can think and determine what to do when the time has come, when you have tough decisions to make, when you have to confront terrorists, when you have to confront the international community, when you have to confront all the diplomatic bodies that needs to be confronted and needs to be engaged for the restoration of Biafra. That time that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu spoke about is now. That is why, as one Nigerian terrorist sent their delegates to be at the Secretariat of African Union to sabotage the petitions and every document submitted by the government to the African Union for them to understand what the Biafran government is presenting to the African Union, we are not surprised. What you need to understand is that it is in tandem with what you should expect. How do you even expect that one Nigerian terrorist will not raise their shoulders? We are prepared for this. But what we see, when the Biafran government submits letters and documents to some places and then engage those bodies and talk to them, it is for the record to be on ground. One, for public and international recognition, diplomatic recognition of it, and for it to be on record. It is on record now that the Biafran government submitted petitions of violations of human rights against one Nigeria and for the acknowledgement of the Biafran government. Every grievances that was written, the referendum, the kidnap of Martin Nnamdi Kanu, the slaughter of Christians ongoing in Nigeria, then Nigerian government now use their agents there to sabotage that petition to be addressed by the respective human rights sections of the African Union that is supposed to address it. The Nigerian terrorist agents sent to the African Union sabotage that documentation from getting to the right quota, sweep it under the carpet and dump it in the trash. For this to be on record, it is a sign of victory for Biafra, and it is a sign for you to understand that it is the right time for us to do what we are doing. Yes, because if Nigerian terrorist government folded their arms and sat down and watched us move from left, right, center, that means we were not doing anything that was touching them on their block course. So they have to stand up to sabotage everything that needs to be done. There is a video you all have to watch so that you understand what was happening in the Nigerian Senate. In the Nigerian Senate, this is what was happening. I want you to listen to it. Listen to what was happening in the Nigerian Senate so that you know how far and why Nigerian terrorist government must go as far as doing anything that they have to do to sabotage every effort that we are making to drag their nakedness to the international community. It is good that when we drag them there, we take something somewhere and then they go and expose themselves, so that the international community will see their flaws, will see their lopsidedness, will see every evil that they are doing, and they will understand why are they coming to downplay what the Biafran government is bringing to their table. Why must they come to accost or to stop or to truncate what this Biafran government is bringing on the table? Is there something so important inside this report that they must flag it off? Yes. They were crying in the Senate that if they don't do something about this Simon Ekpa, he will bring this Biafra to limelight, and everybody will come to understand that Nigeria is a terrorist country. Listen to the video.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
They fear that if Simon Ekpa is not stopped, if they don't do something, this is coming from the National Assembly. This is coming from the red chambers. That if Simon Ekpa, Biafra government, is not stopped, if they don't do something about it, that he will garner more support from their so-called Nigerians, as they claim. And then before you sleep and wake up, that everybody will adopt the ideology of Biafra that Nigeria needs a breakup. That the only solution to Nigeria is to break up and end the contraption, because they themselves understand that the country is not workable. That the lives of babies, children, women, and men slaughtered on a daily basis, that none of their children are victims. That their children are all in I believe I'm back to the studio. Sorry for the break in transmission. I salute all of you. Yes. The Nigerian red chambers and their terrorist organs and
every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
if you are waiting for this Nigerian terrorist government here to come to your aid, you will all die one by one. That is coming from Tifilus General Danjuma. he was one of the chief serving the Nigerian terrorist government. So he understands what he has seen in the trenches. He knows the connivance of the Nigerian terrorist government with their armed groups working in pari passu with the terrorists in uniforms and those in the bushes which they branded bandits and terrorists. Yes, and these are people that should not be living amongst equals of humanity because they are monsters. But the only people that have their solution is the Biafran government. The Biafra Defense Forces has their antidote and is giving it to them woto woto. We are different and extinguished from our foes. That is one thing that comes out from the Biafra national anthem. We have shown and proven ourselves triumphant amongst all our foes. So while everyone in one Nigeria are enjoying one Nigeria and dying in the hands of the terrorists and crying and wailing every day, the people that have the power to destroy one Nigerian terrorist, not waiting for anybody to come to their aid anymore, not remaining unprovoked, are the Biafran people. And the Biafran Prime Minister is the man in charge, a new sheriff in town. So the video here on the screen is to make you to understand that if we are not doing anything, Nigerian government will not rise up and run all the way to the African Union to put a delegate there that will stop petition letters and violation letters, acknowledgement letters coming from the Biafran government against one Nigerian terrorist to the African Union. So we have arrays of enemies, and they are rising up because we are doing something that is actually puncturing them. If you are not holding the dog on your blockhouse, dog will not shout some kind cry that dog will now lie down on the ground and be raising hand. What one Nigeria are doing now is that they lie down on the ground and they are raising hand and they are shouting, "We." Simon Ekpa don't hold me for blockhouse, so let him release me or let him allow me. Because if Simon Ekpa was not doing anything, if the Biafran government was not doing anything, will Nigerian government run to African Union to go and place a delegate to block letters that will be coming from the Biafran government, and they place the person in the secretariat of the African Union, so that every letter you bring, they will twat it, put it in the trash. This is the same thing that was happening in the ICC when a Nigerian man was seated there, and he was even a Biafran. Nigerian government used him to trash every petition that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was submitting to the ICC under IPOB as organization. Today, we are in a government. So, we want every Biafran and the entire world to understand that for one Nigeria to place a delegate of sabotage to any documentation that is coming from the Biafran government attorney to the African Union against Nigeria and to the acknowledgement of Biafran government, it is a sign of victory to the Biafran government and to the Biafran people. It is a sign of defeat to Nigerian terrorist government. Because if we were not doing something that is affecting them, they will not run Chikiba. They will not run Elter Skelter to go and do what they are doing. So that means Biafran government is actually doing something. That means the Zoo Nigeria is getting the heat. When you look at this man that is reading this this prayer or this petition here in the National Assembly of One Nigerian Red Chambers, where is he from? He must be a Biafran. So the Zoo terrorists must always look for a Biafran to play this kind of role in the Red Chamber. All of them, their days are numbered. Let them continue to play the role that they are playing. You will not see a Fulani man or a Fulani terrorist coming to read this petition here now. Yes. You will not see a Fulani terrorist man coming to raise this motion in the National Assembly that if they don't stop Simon Ekpa, that the entire Nigerian will be meant to come and understand that Biafra should be restored and that everyone should give Biafra the way to go. It is somebody that knows where the headquarters, the capital city, the origin of Biafra, where it started before, where they fought before, where their ancestors came from, where he sees the power of the Biafra government in the homeland. It is somebody that is from there, that sees and understands what is happening, that will come out to come and carry this motion, this petition to be reading inside the Red Chamber. We are not moved, but we are putting it to all of you to understand that the Biafran government are working, and that is why Nigerian governments are looking for a way of sabotaging everything. It is good they come out and do all this so that all of you will know that we are building bridges, that we are breaking the doors, that we are going extra miles, that we are bulldozing everything that was standing on the way of Biafra. You see, the Biafran government of today, it is a government of transparency in the diplomatic engagements. As this one happens now, we bring it back to you to hear it. Let it be on air, let it be on record, let it be noted everywhere that Biafran government petition and drag Nigerian government to African Union to come and answer for the human rights violations. And then they place a delegate there to sabotage the petition write-up and the documentation that was submitted by the Biafran government. Now the hear am, okay. When it is on record like that, all of you will now understand what we are doing. When the existing government refuses to allow justice to play, what will continue? Presence of violence and anarchy. Biafran government demands the removal of Nigeria's representative at the African Union Commission who sabotage the documentation submission against Nigerian terrorist government in the African Union. The person we are talking about is a delegate of the Nigerian government, placed there in the secretariat. So, for them to have gone this far to sabotage this, and it is now on air, it is a recognition of Biafra in the international space. It is a recognition of victory of the Biafran people. It is something you need to understand that Biafra, the way it has been fought before, has changed. That there is a new captain on board, and that new captain is breaking walls, is moving mountains. So every Biafran should be happy that you have a Biafran government who speaks against the injustice meted against Biafrans by any community, and then they stand to recognize and to retract whatever they say and to seek a redress, because they now understand that there is a government that is speaking for the people of Biafra. We want you all to understand something, that the stand of the Biafran government is not what you should play with. The stand of the Biafran government is more than what you hear the Nigerian nonsensical media journalists and analysts sit down to do on the television of One Nigeria. What they do there is to do what? To distort the minds and understanding of the audience or the people looking at them or listening to them. Because the people are doomed. They understand that they have restricted them to be watching only the Nigerian television within Nigeria. So they don't want them to be hearing any other thing outside. We are telling you that before you see them come on TV and they continue to enact on, well, we should bring this Simon Ekpa back. We should bring him. He's causing havoc. He's doing this. He's doing that. You should understand that it is because this Simon Ekpa is fighting for a just cause. They kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a country that has become international kidnapper, not even a local kidnapper. They are not talking about the crime they themselves have committed. They are not talking about they themselves sponsoring the Fulani terrorists every day to ravage communities and to kill and maim and rape. children. No, instead, they will do what? They will abandon that one and they will come to be talking about Simon Ekpa. They ignore the terrorist attacks that have consumed over 650 lives in a day in the far north. They ignore the terrorists that are taking control of communities in Borno. Over 8 local government areas in Borno State are under the supervision of Fulani terrorists. They ignore all those ones. They ignore everything that has been happening in one Nigeria because they never wanted anybody to stand up to speak. They are now focusing on Simon Ekpa. They are focusing on the Biafran government. They are focusing on anything that has to do with Simon's name. Simon's name. What is Simon doing? How far is he moving? They have circulated all their nets to be going around and looking for where and what to talk about and how far. So, if we were not doing something that makes a difference, if we were not puncturing them on the tires, they will not come out and go this far. So, Biafran government has the antidote for one Nigerian madness. You see, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, when we will start our madness, it will be with swag, and nobody will understand what we are doing. Now our madness has come now, and the way our madness is going, we are taking it even out from Biafra land and we are going international. You see? Nigeria is being disgraced in the African Union now. That they do everything to sabotage the communication of the Biafran government to the African Union. And we are monitoring other places where we have submitted petitions against one Nigeria and bring Biafra to their acknowledgement. Wherever Nigerian government will go to sabotage it, it will still be notified to all of you and you will all hear. It is a sign of victory. That is what you need to understand. To show that Biafran governments have done this and done that and done that, the Nigerian terrorist government stops at nothing. But to do what? Support the Fulani terrorists. Then come to do what? To continue to look for Biafrans to kill in their homes. They look for a way to continue to kidnap more of Biafrans. They kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, international country of kidnappers, a country that is now #1 in kidnapping. And nobody, no international organization is holding them accountable for them being international kidnapper. Now, they want to come and kidnap another person that is bringing their ignorant crimes to the international community. They want to come and kidnap another person that is exposing their secrets, telling the world, telling African Union, telling European Union, telling the United Nations, telling American government, telling UK government that this is what your people are doing. And we want them to be brought to book. Nigerian terrorist government wants to do something so that they will be stopping that person. Is this for those of you calling yourself Nigerians, is this a country that wants you alive? No, they don't want you alive. Do you know why? Watch this. You see, as we say, they don't want you alive. You see, the Nigerian army discharges female soldier who accused officer of sexual abuse, of sexual advances. Can you see that? This is the kind of Nigeria that you have. Because they don't want you to open your mouth to expose the evil that the officers does in the mess. From the superior officer, what they do to even the wives of the subordinates. Talk less of what the superior officers are doing and tend to do to the subordinates. I'm talking about what the superior officers do to the wives of the subordinates and what the superior officers also do to the subordinates. And what they now do to a subordinate female like this. Nigerian terrorist government don't want you to do what? To expose such, to bring anything to limelight. They want you to shield them and to cover their nakedness and their evil as they continue to kidnap and to maim and to destroy. So, that is part of it. So, this is a communication from the Biafran government attorney who has filed a counter petition against this Nigerian terrorist government, against them sabotaging the letter that was submitted to the African Union.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria.
The fear of pronouncing Simon Ekpa as the Prime Minister of the Biafran government, the Prime Minister of the Biafran people, is the beginning of wisdom. The day they will now open their mouth and pronounce him as the Prime Minister of the Biafran people in this their National Assembly is coming. And when they open their mouth and pronounce him, we will still hear them here. After all, you have already heard this one from EFIK-IBIBIO telling you that the real governor of the entire Biafra land, that if the governor of a state himself obeys the sit-at-home, it means the real governor of Biafra land is Simon Ekpa.
Himself obeys the sit-at-home on Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit-at-home, and government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We will be rounding up because we've been here for an hour and 34 minutes. Why did they go as far as to the African Union to block petitions and every documentation that the Biafran government submits to the Biafran quest and against one Nigeria? It is because they know the power of the Biafran government in exile. It's because they know the power of a government in exile. Yes, because the power of a government in exile gives the government in exile the power to speak for the people of the country or region from where you are getting the power from to fight and to get sovereignty for them. The power of the government in exile gives you the authority to connect with every international bodies to place the issue of your government and your people on the table of those bodies. The power of the government in exile gives you the power to have diplomatic, political engagement, armed struggle discussion and engagement with international communities and countries and nations. Seek their recognition, seek their redress on many things, seek their allegiances, and seek everything you want to seek. Have ties and commitment with them. The power of a government in exile is far more understood by Nigerian government terrorists than what they come out to tell you on their social media, television accounts. Like when you see the journalists come, they sit down on Channels Television and Arise Television and TVC, they will be telling you that Simon Ekpa don't have the power to do this. Simon Ekpa don't have the power. Simon Ekpa don't have the power. That is a non-state actor that is in Finland, that is just a fraction of a group, that he doesn't have the power to do this. The real people that have the government of Nigeria understand so much the power that is embedded in a government in exile. They understand the power that is embedded in the government in exile of Simon Ekpa. They understand the government in exile of Biafra that is controlled by Mazi Simon Ekpa. Yes. That is why they will send the red and yellow and brown envelope journalists to the TV screen to confuse the masses, to make them disbelieve that Biafra government in exile has no power, that what Simon Ekpa has no effect. But yet they will go back from the back door to go and start fighting to see how they can stop what Simon Ekpa is doing. Are you getting the point? No be juju be that. No be juju be that. You they come out for TV, they tell me say I no get effect, I no be anybody, I the noise maker. But when you come out for the TV, you go inside bedroom, go to do prayers against me. You go they meet Babalawo, go meet pastors, say may they do miracle, may they pour olive oil for ground. You go say may Babalawo, may they kill 5 cows, may they use 10 cows, take do juju for me. May they use 100 cows, take overturn my power so that I no go fit they go front again. No be juju be that. When we say for front, you go come, you come they deceive the people, say, hey, Biafra government no be anything. Biafra government no get voice. Biafra government no they go anywhere. They are not doing anything. They are just social media country. Simon Ekpa is in Finland, but you hear the president of the National Assembly, the president of the Senate, the lawmakers, who reads the law and understand what it means when you say that if the governor of a state himself obeys the sit at home of a Biafran government, and the civil servant working in that state obeys the sit at home, and the police commissioners, the army barracks, the navy, the air force, the civil defense, and everything, both living and non-living things, they obey the sit at home that is implemented by the Biafran government, led by Simon Ekpa. It invariably means that Simon Ekpa is the real leader of this region, leading this region from all over from Finland. Why all those Sabontinti surrounding Biafra land, shouting that they are working for one Nigeria, they are just slave boys who collect money at the end of the month, doing nothing. So, if Biafran government is not strong, and if Nigerian government don't understand the potency, the power, the odogu, they don't understand what is behind the EKID, if they don't understand what is behind the Abaraburu, if they don't understand what it means to have a government in exile, why will Nigerian government go as far as seeking a way of sabotaging every documentation or petition or letter leveled against them in the international court, in the African Union, and elsewhere? Why are they placing delegates to sabotage every documentation that will be coming so that it will not get to the right table for it to be addressed. Ask yourself that question. That is a sign of victory from the Biafran government. That is a sign of victory from Biafra. That is a sign of defeat. That is a sign of acknowledging that these Biafra people have defeated you. And so you don't want to sit down to fold your arms. You have to go and do something, because they have actually come with EK Pentecost. Yes. They have actually come with that strongest thunder, that strongest Oduma. Yes. They have actually come with it. And they want to come and destroy everything. The kind of Oduma that the Biafran government is coming with is the one that destroys from inside the soil and come out. Not be the one where go come, they break soil from the surface, they go inside. No, and the one where they come out from inside like this, they come. So you now understand the power. That is why the Nigerian Senate are crying. They know why they cry and the reason why they have to do what they have to do. But we are telling all Biafrans, you must be happy because your works are paying off. You must be happy because your support to the Biafran government is paying off. You must be happy that your resilience of the stay-at-home and every civil disobedience enacted by this Biafran government since MNK was kidnapped to this very day has actually molded you to become very strong. And today, there is nothing one Nigeria will say or do that will move you, because Biafran government have rebranded you in a form that you now become still of value, not wavering, never going back, ever going forward, and making sure you get to your destination and to what you want to get before you say, let us relax. No. Since we started, we have not backed down. Instead of us to back down, those that are getting weaker along the way, they will fall back. And we will continue. And more people will come and join, and we will still continue. That is how far about this Biafra government. Yes. When you are tired and your bone is weak, you do what? You hear that music that they say, take my weapons when I die. Take my boot when I die. Give it to the next man standing and let Biafra continue. Get me Biafra when I die. Do you hear them? So if you are weak along the way, we take your boot and give to another person who doesn't have boot. We take your weapons and give to another person who doesn't have a good weapon. Maybe your own was better than his own. We take your headgear and give to another person. We take your vest and give to another person. And then we continue to go. We have to give you that Biafra, which you have already fought till your bones got weak. We will continue to go until we get the Biafra, and your remnant will come to understand what you fought for. Your legacy will speak. Your blueprint will continue to sing forever. All of you are enjoying America today, enjoying UK, enjoying Europe, enjoying every other countries and nations and continents that have fought for their freedom. And today they have good social services. They have a country where the parents can pay child, what is it called? Child support to their children, whether you marry the mother of that your baby or not. It is mandatory that you must pay child support. That is how international community have been able to do what? To discourage lazy asses. They do it to discourage lazy ass, lazy men and women that will just want to go and have baby, and then they make the baby to become useless in life. They don't give that baby a life. So, before you say you go and give woman belly, you must remember that you will pay child support. Yes, in the international community. So that if you don't pay, you will not understand what you put your leg into. So, when you bring a child to this world, you must take care of that child. You don't bring a child and then make the life of that child miserable. You must take care of it. You pay your tax in time. When you don't even pay your tax in time, you will pay fine for paying it late. Wait, oh, you will come and pay the tax in late time. Yet you will still pay fine for paying that your tax at the late time. Do you understand the point? Now, there is good hospital and health care in the Western countries. We really understand what is freedom and democracy. When you're sick, it is your life as a priority first. It is not the money. The government will make sure the facilities resuscitate your life and make you to be okay. When they finish, before they will now look at your bills. It is not the bills first, it is your life first. But in your Nigerian contraption, it is the bills first, the money first. If they don't have money to pay to buy even the hospital card in Nigeria, somebody will die. Talk less of to administer you emergency first aid. No. So you are all in America, UK, Europe, enjoying all these things. People fought like you, stood their ground, and they called them rebels. Yes. Why you yourself, as they call rebels for fighting the terrorist country that is killing your people, you will also see them as vandals because they come to vandalize your lives and your existence. People fought like this in America, UK, and Europe for that Europe and America to be a better place than you are today. All of you that is doing japa, that you japa from Nigeria and then you land in America and UK and Europe, and you will say, thank God I have japa, I will not come back again. Will you have the same rights in Europe like you're supposed to have in your own land? If a European comes to your contraption of one Nigeria, does that European have the right to do everything in your Nigeria? No, it doesn't. So your potentials and everything that you can have right and avenues to do is supposed to be in your own country. But because the existing government is not working, that is why you are not feeling all those. That is why as you run to Europe, you gain to even benefit from the good gestures of the Europe government and America and UK and other nations that have understood what the importance of life is all about. So people fought in all these countries and nations to make it an independent state. So when you see one Nigerian lawmakers shouting and making noise that we want to come and destroy them so that we bring Biafra, they are the enemies that don't want you to have and enjoy what their children are enjoying in America and UK and Europe. The children of these senators that you see here, they are all in Europe, America, and UK. Asia, Russia, everywhere where lives are better. They go there to go and enjoy the good lives of those countries. But they do what? They jeopardize your own in your very Nigeria because they have created a system where they will make you to be a slave and to continue to make you to remain in that perpetual system so that you will not have a voice, you will not even have the power and the courage to rise up, to speak up, and to stand for what is right and to demand for it. Any youth now that enter road that say they do protest for one Nigeria to be better, they will say police, army, air force, navy, shoot them to death. The people that were shot death in the last End Bad Governance protest, who has gotten justice for them? When they don't kill you. Nigeria is not worth fighting for. Many of us have fought for Nigeria before, have identified and stood for Nigeria before, and we've come to understand that it is a fight that has nothing to get back in return. You know what they call futility? You know what they call something to be fertile? When something is fertile, come to Biafra. But when something is useless, barren, and can never be useful, talk about Nigeria. That is why, as we continue to fight and to open the Anyasha in the international community, we don't expect them to be sleeping. Yes, because if they are sleeping, it will be as if what we are doing does not have any effect. Yes. We want them to be showing their stupidity and their idiosyncrasy in all the international offices where we are making petitions, putting recognition of Biafra, and bringing their violations and killings of Christians to the knowledge of those countries and bodies. We wanted that as we present these petitions, we want to be seeing them rising up from those places to come to counter us, yes, so that the entire world will understand that we are actually doing something, and the people that we are doing something and bringing their nyash to open are actually coming to acknowledge that they are the devil. But above all, we want their heart to be hardened worse than that of Pharaoh. God hardened the heart of Pharaoh until he made the children of Israel to walk out of Egypt. So one Nigerian terrorist government, your heart will be hardened more than that of Pharaoh till the very day that Biafra walks. We are going to finish all your terrorist boys that are coming into Biafra land, one after another. We will destroy them and make sure they see no way to walk past again. I salute all Biafrans. The message here today is that you must understand that if we do what we are doing and one Nigerian terrorist government do not raise their handbags, it means that we are not getting the result we wanted. Yes, we are getting the result we wanted by the Nigerian. The results must be shown. If the results are not there, then we are not getting what we wanted. But when the results are coming out, it means we are getting what we wanted. So the results must show up. Am I coming out? The results must be shown. Okay, thank you. If the results are not there, thank you. I can see myself now coming out. So, to all Biafrans watching us and to all of us of freedom, every Biafran should expect to see one Nigeria coming out, showing forth in all the places that we have submitted documentations for Biafra acknowledgement, the petitions against one Nigeria, and how they are killing and maiming the people. Yes, we want them to come out. When they are coming out, it shows that what we are actually doing is paying off, just like this one that they have done. So it is paying off. Yes, they cannot stop Biafra, and they will not stop Biafra. So I salute all of you, and I say happy birthday to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu once again, our supreme leader, and to everyone that was born on this beautiful and joyous and wonderful day. It was a miracle day if you were born on this very day. So thank God that you happen to be someone that was born on this very day. Remain blessed and keep focus on the ordinances of the Biafran government in exile. I salute all of you.
Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly,
the Biafran government in exile is in the eye of the storm as we speak. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has accused the Finnish government and the European Union of shielding the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The Constable General has called for the arrest and extradition of Simon Ekpa to the country. The disquiet in southeast Nigeria is believed to be provoked by the Finland-based Enfant Terrible. Right? So for once we are zeroing in on Simon Ekpa.
But this is not the first time. This is not the first time Chief of Defense has spoken like that. This is not the first time that the high-ranking official of the Nigerian government has spoken like that. We have to look at the fact that Simon Ekpa is a citizen of Finland. So that, serves as a kind of a hindrance to saying to his extradition. Yes, but the Chief of Defense has said something interesting, that if it was the other way around and Simon Ekpa was in Nigeria, would the government of Finland and the European Union allow such to exist? Well, it's about balance of interests, balance of strategic interests. That is why in pursuing our foreign policy, we must do it in such a way that we command respect. We continue to command respect in the Committee of Nations. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you will even see, look at small nations, the way they treat Nigerians. Nations that Nigeria used to send aid to, even pay salaries of their workers and do things for, even send soldiers to go and fight wars or to go and put down coups. Look at how they treat Nigerians. No respect for Nigerians anywhere around the world anymore. So many Nigerians in prisons around the world.
When I said earlier on, quoting Warren Buffett,
yes,
a reputation built over 20 years can be lost in 5 minutes.
Yes. So
she was wondering if it is 1 minute.
It may just be even a few seconds. So now government has to look at ways of, yes, sustaining pressure on Finland and on the European Union to help in dealing with these things. Yes, you're talking about human rights. You respect human rights, no doubt about that. But you see, your own rights stop where the right to swing your arm stops where the other man's nose begins. So we must look at it in such a way. There must be a robust engagement on this issue so that we state it clearly that Nigeria is not happy and comfortable with the activities of this individual. It should not just be, the Chief of Defense Staff appearing on channels, on a TV channel and saying these things, and then after that everybody goes back to the daily run. The Minister of Foreign Affairs must make it a priority, take it up robustly, so that there should be a robust engagement with these people, so to tell them that these things are not acceptable. And then we make sure that it is, it is sustained, it is consistent, and of course you can achieve a lot with it. Then again, in terms of technology, this fellow is using technology, in spreading his messages. So why can't you use counter technology?
Okay.
Can't you use technology also to counter him? Yes, you cannot just sit helplessly. There must be certain things you can, which of course I praise the military what they are doing. They're really trying here and there. The security services are trying, but there must also be countermeasures you can take using technology to make sure you cut funding. If there is funding from wherever place to wherever place, then using technology to cut off communications, in terms of communications.
But Emeka, are you not disturbed that a Simon Ekpa would want to sweep the rug under the feet of Nnamdi Kanu?
Of course, when there is nature abhors a vacuum. The repatriation of Nnamdi Kanu, and the arrest, open the door to all kinds of people. Now franchise holders, calling themselves all kinds of names and taking advantage of this situation. But Nnamdi Kanu himself said, yes, I'm not happy about the security situation in the Southeast. Release me, and I will assist you in quelling the security situation. Yeah. That's why I've called for a political solution to his matter, so that you can release him and then let him work with government to deal with this security situation. Now, when the environment is secure, we can hold conversations around issues, issues of, of whatever, whatever areas. We can hold conversations around those issues, and we will definitely get to a point of agreement. But keeping him there and saying that you are fighting someone else, no, you are burning two ends of the candle. It can't work.
Okay, Ibn Abo, you can't ignore Simon Ekpa in the equation.
There are many ways to go around this. We have to be realistic. Do we have any form of extradition treaty with Finland? You don't ask for what you don't.
Not there.
I mean, do you have any kind of treaty in that regards? Now, let me leave that. I'm looking at the whole of the southeastern region. We have about 5 states. We have Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. These governors should come together. Because let's assume that you are even an independent state. You are a sovereign nation, and you are having these issues. How do you solve it?
All right, Ibn Abo, but you think that extraditing Simon Ekpa, he will go some way of dousing tension?
I'm not too sure about that. What happened when Nnamdi Kanu was brought to Nigeria? Was there any form of abatement to the activities of the IPOB? So that is not the solution. The solution, we should start from within. Let the governors come around. They are your people. What can you do? Where are they? Are they dropping from the sky? We should look for solution within ourselves. Yes, given Mr. President is the chief of commander-in-chief of the armed forces and all of that. But if you have come up with a solution, then you can now discuss with the president and even call on other governors to work hand in hand, because these states are bounded by other states. So you work hand in hand, and then when you work like that, when you are beginning to see some positive, responses or results, then you can begin to look at other things to be done. But for now, you can't just be sitting we are like sitting ducks, and anyone can just throw anything at us. It is not right. We have to take the bull by the horn. Bringing Finland, sending Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria cannot solve the problem. Somebody else will come up.
Simple, from another country.
Yes. So it's not a solution, please. It's not.
So the whole thing sounds like business to you, a franchise to you.
Well, didn't we see when there was agitation in Niger Delta? The names you were hearing then, did anybody ever come out to tell you, I am so person, I'm sorry? You see, when you allow situations to degenerate, even you may even find out that you may even have rogue elements in the security services who will be aiding people fighting against the state. It happens.
AKA fifth columnist.
Yes, it happens. Then you have people for different reasons, who are just doing things, engaging in criminal activities, and then everything is tagged around one name. The issue for me is this. Get Nnamdi Kanu released. Find a political solution to his situation, and then work with him and governors, religious leaders, traditional rulers, political leaders, work with them to find a solution. And one other problem is that there are a number of villages that are deserted in the southeast. I traveled through some recently. I told you I ran into unknown gunmen at a point. So, deserted, completely deserted. And these people have run to different areas, displaced from their natural areas of residence. How do you deal with those ones? So we must take deliberate measures to solve the insecurity situation. Everything must not be done with force.
To you, what's on the front burner would be a political solution to the whole.
Yes, to Nnamdi Kanu's issue. Find a political solution, and then.
So you watch if people like Simon Ekpa will still be relevant.
Well, how would they be? Who would they be talking to? When the arrowhead is out of detention and he has said it openly that he is willing to, put in effort to resolve the security situation. Why not give him a chance? Find a way around it. You see, it is when government doesn't want to act that they start making excuses. No, there can't be a political solution, there can't be this. But you've had cases where you found a political solution. You've had cases where government discontinued prosecution. So the point is that don't pretend as if your hands are tied. You cannot find solutions because we are losing security personnel.
Sometimes when hands are tied, you are wondering if it's to the front or to the back.
In this situation, there's no tying of hands.
Okay. We
just have to be deliberate and intentional about it. I mean, the solution is here. Let us take it. Nnamdi Kanu came up and made a suggestion. What are you doing with it?
But if, in obedience to what the army chief is saying, Simon Ekpa is turned loose, something will give.
It is because, you see, if it is because Nnamdi is not free yet, once the boss comes out, you just said it, Arrowhead is the one. Once he is out, the people will listen to him. And then with the collaboration of all of the governors and all hands on deck.
So many people will be involved in
all hands on deck, there will be solution. Have you forgotten what happened in the Northeast? Eventually.
Right. Gentlemen, I hear we must begin to wrap, but not before thanking both of you. Ibinabo Dixon, many thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure.
Emeka Madunagu,
thank you very
we'll see you again.
Thank you very much, yes.
Okay, that will just about do it for the show today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You may watch a repeat broadcast of this episode tonight if you missed any part of it at 11, and then on Sunday from between 1:30 and 3:30.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.